Some leaders in the Black community want to create change by focusing on the relationship between the police and African Americans. And that's what the Portland organization Word is Bond is trying to do. Now, this group started in 2017 as a way to connect young Black people with law enforcement and create a better relationship. Let's listen to their executive director talk about his organization and the protests happening right now.
Word is Bond is a nonprofit, and our mission is to rewrite the narrative between young Black men and law enforcement through critical dialogue, leadership development, and education. And really, it was birthed out of the interactions between law enforcement and young Black men in our community that often have deadly consequences. Our flagship program is Rising Leaders, which is a 6-week paid internship program. And in the program, the young men are community ambassadors, where for over 6 weeks, they work on sharing their personal stories and really refining the narrative of who they are and producing it to the larger community. And we really focus on counter narratives rather than the dominant culture narratives, which oftentimes paint young Black men as threats or part of the problem, and really puts their stories as the centerpiece. And so they share their stories with a lot of different people over the course of the program, mainly with law enforcement, who they work with over a very intensive 5-week workshop series where they come in really just getting to know each other on a human level, like who are you and what is your story, and slowly building towards those tougher conversations about mistrust, about police violence, and then using that to be solution oriented and saying, okay, how do we take our experiences and then influence our peers, if we're officers, influence our fellow colleagues, and really create change at an interpersonal level, but also at a policy level, because both of those are important. It is eye-opening for them to be able to see officers in a different light and learn stories about how they became officers and what are they like at an individual level, and then growing through that process to really going from point of I could never be friends with an officer, or I could never see myself interacting with one, to being like, I know several that I could call friends. And for the law enforcement officers, it's almost in a kind of ways a little bit of a reverse, where they're very eager to join the program and engage with the community. And then as the program goes on and we get into some of the deeper workshops, you start to see even the officers that feel like I understand this issue start to see internal challenges within themselves and have that reflection where it's like, wow, I still have work to do on, or even in my own self, I things are challenging me. It's very challenging to watch right now because my heart is pulled in many different positions. First and foremost, it's our young men, and I feel a sense of powerlessness at a certain level because I know I can't protect all of them. I can't protect them from the violence that may be inflicted upon them. I can't protect them from um, the education system and the damage that that can do to them. And so it's very emotional on that level, but I also feel very inspired because so many of them are standing up, and they get it on such a deep level, and they are in school and they're participating in leadership and they're in the marches. With the law enforcement partners, it is a delicate balance of being a bridge builder and holding them accountable, and saying to them, you have to make change and you have to center the experience of Black people in all of this. We have to fix accountability when officers violate the civil rights or the personal rights of individuals. That the community has to know that they will be held accountable.